What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel and welcome to another Dragonheir Silent God / Dragonstride Legacy Reborn video. Today, guys, we're going to talk about re-rolling. Is it worth doing it? And what you should kind of like aim for. We're going to talk about prophecy codes. We're going to talk about all of that important stuff that you should know tomorrow when the game will be officially launched. Now, before we dive into that, guys, and if you guys want to put your hand on more free rewards and you want to help and support the channel, you can actually use my creator code. The code will be Skratch, as you can see it right here. I will actually leave it up on the screen. Basically, you can go directly to this website that I will be putting in the pinned comment and in the description down below and start the game with more resources. I will be able to do more giveaways, plus it will help and support my channel as well, guys. On the website, you can only do it if you are an existing player. If you are a new player, you can actually do it in-game. So once the game will be live tomorrow, you can go to the event tab. And somewhere right here will be a different section called link a creator, user creators code, or something like that, somewhere on the left side. And there you can actually enter code Skratch and you're going to be able to claim some more additional rewards. Is it worth re-rolling in Dragonheir Silent Gods? We have a bunch of amazing characters and re-rolling could potentially be pretty damn painful. So let me just start with the beginning. I'm not 100% sure if you're going to be able to claim the pre-registration rewards, which is going to be directly 20 summons. In order for you to acquire summons in the game, on top of just getting rewards and stuff, you will have to play the game quite a bit. It's not like in other gacha games where you just go in, you do 10 minutes, 15 minutes the tutorial, and bang, you're going to get yourself 20, 30, 40, 50 pulls, and you reroll after. No, that's not the way Dragonheir Silent Gods works. Now, I'm not 1000% sure how many summons we're going to get straight off the back when we open the game tomorrow, even though we know we're going to get tons of rewards from all type of events. Like we have this event right here, then we have daily logins, which are not really giving you much on day one, and then it's just basically what we're getting from all of the events that we took part in, especially the ones that will give us gems, right? Because that's going to be very, very important. So one thing that I would strongly recommend you, if you're one of those persons that insists to reroll, make sure you're preparing a few multiple emails from today. Do an account appraisal, and that is basically as a new player, because if you haven't played it before, or if you played before, you can now reroll it anyway. But if you've never played before and you want to reroll, set up 2, 3, 4, 5 different email addresses from today, pre-register. Make sure you're taking part in all of the events that they have on their website, the account appraisal, select a different game, and upload some screenshots with a lot of legendaries. You can just Google that and you'll find tons of them. And that should give you 4,800 gems. Then you can do the prophecy code as well. Maybe you will get something from there, maybe you won't. But either way, you will have an option. Now, one thing to keep in mind with Dragonheir, the very first 20 summons that you are going to do, it will give you a guaranteed legendary, no matter on what banner you are summoning. So you're going to have this regular banner, you're going to have the exclusive one where is Vitar and Lelwanis, and then you should be having a support banner, if I'm not mistaken, straight off from day one in the game. So up to you on which banner you're choosing to summon your very first 20 Heliolite dice to get that guaranteed. Probably, if the support one has good supporters, I would try my luck in there. With the prophecy codes, if you're trying to reroll, once again, it's pointless because you know already what you're gonna get from there. So maybe I wouldn't use it. But I would try to participate in as many events as possible to claim as many resources as possible, rewards, because that will make my life a bit easier. We're going to discuss about what characters to kind of like aim for and stuff like that, even though it's really, really hard to pick one of them and call it a day. And I'm going to explain you in a second why. Now, if you're not doing multiple emails and you're planning to reroll tomorrow, it's a very high chance that you might be missing out on the pre-registration rewards, which is 20 summons directly, that guaranteed legendary. And then, of course, you might be missing out on other rewards too, which we still do not know exactly how they're going to distribute the appraisal rewards, right? We get them in one batch. We're going to get them while we're leveling up. How is that part going to basically be done? Now, if we are talking about characters, one of the main things to keep in mind with Dragonheir, guys, it is a pretty complex game. And while it is pretty complex and it has good units, and it has a few units that are overall not that great, the game will kind of like allow you to play it with a lot of epics and rares, especially once you reach the end game. So getting the exclusive characters, the rare characters, which are some of the ones that you see on the screen right here with fancy animations, is extremely hard, okay? If by any chance you pull one of them in your very first summons, do not reroll, okay? Because that means you got crazy, crazy lucky. Now, there are some units that are not that great. Some units can be acquired from the purple dice, but just because you got a unit that can be acquired from a purple dice, it doesn't mean that you should reroll, okay? Because you have no mercy on the purple dice. It can take you a very long time to get a legendary from there. And as I've mentioned, it's not like if you're going to pull your very first unit, let's just take it, for example, I don't know, Donella or Sagomir. It doesn't mean that the game is over for you. It doesn't mean that your account sucks or that your account is blocked, okay? You have so many different options. The main things you should prioritize is building teams formed of the same elemental affinities. Now, that might be a bit tricky as a new player because you might not be getting multiple ones from fire, multiple ones from poison, so you can pair them together, right? Which is kind of like a bad combo if you're bringing damage, but that's one of the main things you kind of like need to keep in mind. Personally, I would not reroll in this game. It's just not something that works well. You can basically summon your first or your second legendary as well when you start, and they can be average. You can get a Sura, you can get a Sagomir, and then be like, well, my account sucks. But then your next 10, 20 pulls will be amazing, okay? And you can go on a new rerolled account that you're planning to build up, and you might summon, I don't know, like you might get a freaking Ogok, you might get a Gillian, you might get a Tamara, Filto, Huberg, but then the next legendaries that you're pulling are actually worse than what you had on the previous one. So, considering that the game gives you 2 free legendaries, the game gives you most of the OP epics for free, I really do not think that is worth rerolling whatsoever in this game, okay? Each one of the characters, they have their own weaknesses and strengths. Each one of the characters, especially the damage architecture types, will require different units from the same damage architecture type to basically perform well in any game content. So you can go and summon a Filto, but then you're not gonna have anything to make him work. You're not gonna have Laurentil, you're not gonna have Elton, you might not have Huberg. Hell, you might not even have the freaking epics that work good, like Caitlyn, Elvis, for example, right? Which will suck because it doesn't matter that you have Filto, then you have Ivelios, then you have Durango, then you have freaking I don't know, Caspar, if you do not have other characters to pair them with, right? So that should be the main thing you're kind of like looking for rather than aiming to get one specific unit. There is no specific unit that will beat the game, okay? Each one of them will have weaknesses and strengths across the entire game board. So that's why, in my opinion, rerolling in Dragonheir Silent Gods is just not worth it, okay? It will take probably a week to develop an account and have multiple summoned legendaries to kind of like understand if, okay, this is good, this is bad. Another thing is the server selection. Once a server is full, you won't be able to access it anymore. So if you want to play with friends and you're trying to reroll, the only way for you to do so is by having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different emails ready with a pre-registration done. And as soon as the game opens, you put all of those 5 emails accounts in the same server. And you're going to wait after and see. You play the account 2-3 days, you're not happy with it at all, you move on to the next one. Maybe that's going to be better. But that means that you are going to be left behind. So there is no quick rerolling method in this game that can be done in 15-20 minutes to basically allow you to get the end game character that will beat everything, because there is no such a thing in this game. Unlike other gacha games that have 20 characters available at launch, Dragonheir has 189 characters, okay? 189. So you have a lot of diversity. When you play a different regular gacha game where people reroll, those games launch with 20 up to 50, 60 units maximum, from which they have light and dark, and one of them is extremely busted and everybody wants to try and get that unit. Is not the same thing for Dragonheir Silent Gods. So that's why I really think that maybe you don't want to reroll. Take my advice with different email accounts / put them in the same server, and then maybe, just maybe, if you want to sacrifice your placement on the leaderboard and stuff like that, go and start a second account and grind thereafter, or play them both simultaneously and see which one of them gives you better stuff in the first 1 week, and then keep one of them, right? But that requires quite a bit of time too. Now, what units should you keep an eye for? I've done, I think, around probably 15 accounts on the prophecy code thingy, and I haven't got a single unit that I do not have or want, right? I've got some of the new units, like I got Alfanarsi, but honestly, while he's a good unit, I think I'm looking for something else. I've got Lydalia, which is free, Centralia, which will be replacing Snarlash, or whatever the heck his name was. So I know I'll have her already on the account anyway. And other than that, yeah, I've got a Huberg, but I have Huberg. I haven't got anything that I'm kind of like looking for. Maybe an Asilia, maybe hell, a rare character. I haven't seen any. An Oster, maybe a Felicity, which I do not have, or something like that, right? So because of it, I won't be stressing too much about it with the prophecy codes. And that kind of like brings me to my next thing. I might not even use a prophecy code, and maybe you don't have to use a prophecy code. Unless you are a brand new player, and on your prophecy code, you might have 2, 3, 4 legendaries. That's when I would use the prophecy code. And if you only have 2 legendaries, they need to be pretty decent. I will be releasing a tier list tomorrow, the first thing in the morning when the game launches. So definitely stay tuned for that. I will be doing a live stream as well, not long after the launch. But the main thing is, with the prophecy codes, guys, basically it will waste 100 of your own summons. Once you import the code right here, you're gonna basically waste 100 summons. So you gotta think about it in the following way. Are those characters worth it? Should I use the prophecy code? Maybe I'm gonna try my luck to see if I have a better luck on my pulse. Maybe I'm gonna get better units. Maybe you won't, right? But you need to basically get to that decision and see, okay, is the prophecy code really worth it? It's not mandatory to use it, right? So if you think that the prophecy code might not be worth it for you, one thing that I would recommend you as well, if you do not have some crazy units in it, wait with it 1 week. You don't need to input it straight away, right? Go summon, see what characters you're getting. Hell, maybe you're going to pull the same characters you've got in the prophecy code. Now, one thing that is important with dupes in Dragonheir is the fact that you will require dupes to purchase your artifacts, okay? So in order to put your hand on artifacts, you need the currency of 1 dupe. So getting dupes is not bad, because getting the Witch's Remain as an artifact is going to be absolutely massive, okay? We have the Gatekeeper Staff, which can be massive as well on big healers. Downpipe Organ, which is really good. Rift Hourglass. So you will require to get the artifacts too, and the only way to do it is by getting dupes. So it's kind of like a double strategy here. You might be pulling the same characters, then you're going to be like, hell, I'm going to put the prophecy code in to get my artifacts, right? You might not be pulling legendaries, and then you're going to be like, well, I haven't pulled any dupes. Sorry, not legendaries. I haven't pulled any dupes, so I'm going to use my prophecy code to try and collect more characters. But once again, you are not forced to use that. So if you do not think that is worth it, don't use it. As simple as that. The game will still drop you tons of epics. You should not be prioritizing that. And another thing is, do you like to play more with summoners? Do you like to play more with characters that are from the fire or poison element? Because that will be important. Like that, you know, okay, I want to build poisoners. I want to play with poisoners this season. They're not necessarily the craziest ones or anything like that, but that's what you like, and it's fine. It's not going to be meta, but still it's fine because that's what you want to play. Maybe you want to play Dauntless, so then you're going to try to aim to get some Dauntless characters from the Prophecy Code, just to basically be able to pair up your team, you know? That's pretty much it, man. Like, Ivelios is a great character, Terrival is a great character, Filto, Laurentil, Huberg, they're all great, Alten is great, Asilia, Gillian is great, Zephy, Ogok, Vinyara, Felocia, Oster, Rosenia pretty good as well. You have Thorin, which is a great healer. Ripkas a good tank. Premza, Gulende. If you pull some of these units, yeah, it might be worth it for you. Urgander a pretty good tank too. Reita amazing, but she's a rare unit. I'm not a big fan of Ikana, but maybe I'm still underestimating her. I'm gonna have to basically really playtest her and see how it works. Felicity is crazy good now. The only character in the game that can apply a defense down, which is nuts, right? She's gonna be so important for the wild team. So that's what you need to keep in mind. As I've mentioned, the tier list will be released as soon as the freaking game launches. So keep an eye on the channel. You're going to be able to check where the characters are good, what you can do with them, and decide after if you need that extra help. As usual, appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Do not forget, if you want to put your hand on more free rewards and you want to help and support the channel, use code Skratch at this section where it's going to appear link a creator code. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.